What's going on, everybody? You know what it is, and by now you should know who it is. It's your girl, Rain. It's TNT in Rain's World, and tonight we're going to be having some conversations about some different things. As you see, hi, as you've seen on the post that I made around my Facebook somewhere earlier, I have a special guest, and I hope I pronounced your name right,
Yes,
Amberlin.
Amberlin
Am I
without the B. But yes,
Can you hear me? I can't hear you.
you can hear me. You can't hear me at
I
all.
can't hear you. Oh, why?
Can you hear me now?
No, I cannot hear you.
Oh wow, that's crazy. I'm gonna hang up and I'm gonna
See
call
you.
back.
I got you. I got you. Now I can hear you.
Oh, okay.
Did I
Awesome
pronounce it right,
sauce.
Amberlin?
Yes, it's Amberlin without the B. But yes, pronounced it perfect.
Amberlin. Okay. First of all, I love that. Welcome to Rain's World. Today in Rain's World is Tried and Tested Tuesday. Tried and Tested Tuesday is like sometimes the world, the enemy, your own self, you know, just try your patience, try your will, try your faith. So, what I like to do is a lot of guests or myself, if it's just me, I tell or speak to I call my audience the rainbows. I speak to them about what might be trying me or what tried it or who tried it or however you want to put it. And then the tested part is the testimony out of it. So that's kind of how Tried and Tested Tuesday goes.
Okay.
So let me see how I want it to go. I think for this Tried and Tested Tuesday, I would like the topic to be, how do we overcome obstacles? And I want those obstacles to be in relationships, whether it's relationships with a significant other, whether it's relationships with I call them my square, my circle, like your tribe, your friends, your family members, or whether it's relationships in business and networking, right? Because I know that from the bio that you sent me, you're all about the motivational aspect of, I want to say, entrepreneurship, right?
Yes.
So first, I'm gonna let you introduce yourself to the rainbows.
Well, good evening, Rainbows. My name is Amberlin Moise, rather better known as Coach A. I'm currently the owner, CEO, founder of the Motivating Mentors, amongst a host of other businesses. But the most passionate is where I want to help other entrepreneurs and get them from seeing that you are good enough, which is one big obstacle that majority people before we even get started, they don't see as themselves worthy. So that's one of the things that I'm really passionate about, and especially helping new and out of work transition entrepreneurs so they can launch and grow their businesses. Or even if you are an existing business owner and you're stuck, you don't know how to grow, you were growing at such a rapid rate, and then now everything is stalling. So these are the tools and the things that I can help the entrepreneurs with, and the basis of where I come from.
Okay, so you did. I told you, when you see me looking at me, I'm listening. Okay, so I know that I'm trying to find it. Okay, here it is. The one of the main things that totally grasps my attention and made me just have a even more broader respect for you, since we've been having conversations outside of, what we're doing right now, right? Is that in a sense you kind of had major obstacles outside of relationships, but major obstacles in your life to get to who we're seeing right now. For instance, you didn't have, if I got it correctly, more than a high school education. Did
Right.
I, did I read did I read that right?
Yeah, right. I'm just a college graduate. I mean, high school graduate. Sorry.
So tell us about that. Like, what was tell us what that was like for you.
Well, my journey in regards to the entrepreneurship, I've always had a heart and a mind for it, but I just lack the
Hmm.
resources because everybody around me are employees. So when you start talking to them about being a business owner, it's like you talking Chinese to them because all they know is, oh no, I'll just go get a job for someone. So lacking the information and just basically the guidance that I really needed. And by the time I graduated high school, now I know I don't want to work for anyone. I see how this goes through the repetitions of watching the elders before me. I know I need to take a drastic route. But, with the skin that I live in, they want you to get these certifications, or they're not going to take you serious if you go to this amount of schooling for a certain amount of time, or you don't know what you're talking about, you're not credible. And which is all, to me personally, is all nonsense. Everybody have their own story. We all learn in different ways, and we all have our own experiences that we could bring to the table. So with that, it was a difficult journey for me before I learned with my first mentor, which is ET. Well, before he became the hip hop preacher, when he was still growing up, before he went viral, he was my mentor. And the same commitment, the same passion that he has now. Just imagine if you had that one-on-one and he grinding
Right.
you, giving it to you. So that really fueled my passion, along with me being a fan of Les Brown. As soon as I found out he has a mentorship program, I quickly jumped on that opportunity. And I also have another mentor, Coach Terrell. I mean, honestly, is the I like to get more information and learn from everybody. I'm constantly learning and growing and want to get perfect my craft and perfect what I'm doing and the information that I have, and make sure that it's always up to date. So when I go to my personal mentees and I go to coach them, I have relevant factual information that I myself is proof.
Yeah. Man. Okay, so would it be safe to say that the way that you move and perceive and cater to relationships or not is what helped you get the 10 years of experience before the actual, make sure I got it right, 10 years of experience before you even got to becoming who we know as the motivational speaker? Would you say that relationships and how you handled them, how you showed up for them, played a big, huge part? And how would you say
Yeah,
it did?
definitely. Building relationships, I learned that you can't, even though someone is your friend, or someone you're going out with them, or you're married to them, or whatever that personal outside of business relationship is, and you have that trust in them because of that bond that you have, because of that outside relationship, you bring them into the business and hoping that they'll have the same integrity and the same vision that you have for your business.
Hmm.
Majority times that's not the case, unless we're
Right.
already in the standpoint where they're making money, and you can, majority times when you bring somebody on, they're employees. So unless you have some sort of consistency, unless you're going to guarantee them, they're not going to be as passionate as you are in the business. But that is something that I learned at a very very early age. I've been very, I would say my second year to third year in business. When I first started it, I went and I was cutting grass. My marketing and my sales and speaking when the communication skills were always great. That's one of the good things that I had about me naturally. So I was able to build a bond and build a rapport with around the community, around my parents' house, and ventured off. As soon as the neighbors started seeing the quality of the work that I was given, the more and more it came on. It came to the point where that business was generating $10,000 on a month-to-month basis. So it was doing really good. And honestly, I only had three lawnmowers, one leaf blower, one trimmer. I was really using the what I have to do the best that I can. And I hire staff on since I see, oh, okay, well, we're growing now, I can hire staff. And me, I was more focused on the business and worry about the business. Let's get this work done. Let me interact with the customer. And then I delegated it to at this time, this was some of my friends that I brought into the business. I delegated the task. Hey, you oversee the money. You make sure everything is good, and so I could just focus on the business. When I'm the business owner, I should be working on the business and not in the business. That's what that
Yeah.
lesson has taught me. Because when you bring somebody, when you bring those relationships there, you have to watch them, because ultimately they taught me a $35,000 lesson, where because the person whom I entrusted to watch over the accounts was writing himself checks. I personally, I didn't check for the money like that. I knew, okay, I can trust him. I know nothing is going to happen. Now it's time for me to do payroll. I go in there to make sure everything is covered. Then I see I'm in the negative, right? And payroll is due the next day. So that was a pretty learnable experience. That's what I could say. I did get mad, but taking a step back, I'm glad I went through that process,
Yeah.
because now I learned I need to safeguard. I need to have certain procedures in place and certain checkpoints in place, that if there's money being around, if there's high level authorizations that needed, I need to be the last one in communication and seeing that transaction from beginning to end. So it taught me a
Yeah.
lot. So me personally, I don't view any failures as a failure. It's just a lesson. It just taught me a way that I know this isn't going to work this way. Let me try a different route, and then keep pounding the pavement. And this is exactly what my entrepreneurship journey has been: trial and tribulation.
Okay, say I hear that. Say you did. Okay, so that was good. My mind is just going. Okay, so tell me how going from regular 10-year experience of working for others while you're still trying to build, you know, your brand, how does that affect the relationship between you and a significant other?
Ah,
You said,
See, honestly, it all depends on that significant other. Because when you're an entrepreneur and you're working, the entrepreneur is working working on the business more than you are as an employee. You're constantly checking, you're constantly overseeing, and you want to make sure you're meeting these deadlines, and you want to make sure that you have the scale and the vision, or if you're looking for investors. So it all depends on the level of entrepreneurship. I can say for me, it has taken a hit, because I'm a serial entrepreneur with 4 businesses. On top of that, while I was doing all of that, I was also working as well. So working, soon as I get off, I have a consultation call, or I own a Junkanoo group, or we may have a performance over here. I also own a multi-mobile service. So somebody may call me. I integrated the lawnmower. I brought that back into existence, but multi elite mobile services, because it's not a term that anyone would say when you hear multi-mobile service. I'm the first one to ever say that. The only reason why, because I'm the first one that's in my field. So I personally name my field. So it's the multi-mobile service business. What I did was I merged different standalone businesses that were already operating individually in their own right. Perfect. So for example, car wash, landscaping, pressure cleaning, nursing, I'm sorry. Um, catering, catering, and then we also have a cleaning crew, and in addition to that, there's transportation and tow services. I just merged all of those businesses and put them into one because there's not one place where you could get your grass cut and your car wash from the same company. There's not one company that could come do an oil change for you and also cook you dinner in the same time. So that's one of the things. So when I say multi-mobile service business, that's what I'm saying. So it could range either from me washing someone's car, me cutting someone's grass, or it could range. Well, not me so much so now, but then yeah,
Right.
it was all me.
That is amazing. First of all, let's press pause on the topic and let's just give flowers where they belong. That's amazing, especially in our own community. You know what I'm saying? Like that's amazing.
Thank you.
And I'm
Appreciate
so proud. Like you just make my respect grow for you more and more every 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, so tell me how you apply Boston's is better than borrowed with how an entrepreneur is supposed to handle relationships with significant others or potentials, relationships with your employees or coworkers, and relationships with yourself.
integrity. All of that I could say integrity. Because if you have integrity for yourself and for your partner, you know there's certain things that you won't do. You won't go outside of the confines of that relationship. So that's something. But you also have to dedicate the time because if you don't water the flower every day and water it with the attention that it needs, it will tend to die, or somebody else will water it for you.
Okay, say
Unfortunately, that's just the way of
it.
life. That's just the way of life. And with your employees, and me personally, I don't like to think of anybody as an employee. Anybody that has ever worked, that has came and worked with me, because it's a partnership. You're helping me grow this business, and yeah, you're exchanging time for money. But to me, you're not my employee. You're working with me, and we're building this brand. And it's the integrity of how you treat them. Nobody wants to get talked down to. Everybody wants to get talked to with a level of respect. Because at the end of the day, we're all adults, and nobody ever likes to get down talked to all the time or feel like they have to walk on eggshells when their boss is around like that. To me, I've never liked that type of leadership. I myself, before transitioning into business ownership, I was in the management field, and I've seen what employees go through, and it's for no reason. If I go sit there and talk to them because I'm your equal, as they say, oh, I'm just having a bad day today, somebody pissed me off, so now you're going to take it out on everybody when nobody did anything to you. You're just upset. So that is the way you're dealing with your employees is very sensitive, because one, they're the ones that's going to represent your brand. These are the frontline representatives. These are going to be the ones that's going to be contacting and speaking to your customers. They're going to be the ones that place the image of your brand through the level of customer service that they have or don't have. So all of that will affect you. So a happy employee, is a productive employee. If you keep them happy, you will keep them productive. If you make sure that the environment that you have them in is not stressful, where they're not where they don't feel overwhelmed or have too many tasks and feel underpaid for that, you will have a very productive employee. And in regards to self, the relationship with self, you need to take time, because yeah, we're always on the go as an entrepreneur. One of the biggest mistakes that majority of, I would say, I don't know the statistic, But the failures, the 65 to 75% of businesses that fail within the first year, I would say out of that percentage, a good 50% of those people, the reason why they failed is because they lack the information and they try to overwork themselves. Because if you know your limits, if you know what you're gifted at, and if you know before I continue, just a quick question.
Mhm.
Let's say I'm good at 5 things. Well, no, let's say my business, I need to master 5 things, but I am only great at 2 things. What do I put my focus on
The two things that you're good at.
and outsource the rest? So this is basically what entrepreneurs, okay, I have to do everything by myself. I need to do this, I need to do this, because yeah, everybody like that pat in the back, I did it by myself, hooray. And yeah, when you're first starting off, it's really easy to do everything. But when you scale and then you have to deal with customers on the day in and day out, and then employees, and then you have to make sure the guidelines are being followed, depending on what your expertise in business or what area and what field you're going into, there's going to be constant supervisions that you as the business owner need to make, and certain decisions you need to make, and certain marketings that you need to do, and appearances that you need to have. So with yourself, you need to have time for yourself. Me, myself, I meditate in the morning. When I wake up with positive affirmations. I meditate, then another 15 minutes of positive affirmations, and then I go work into the business. Because for me, I'm excited. When I wake up, I'm excited. When I go work in my business, I'm excited. That's just me. I wake up happy because I'm doing what I love.
Well, baby, you just answered my next question. I was just about to ask you, what is the relationship like when it comes down to your own career path, your own, you know, Amberlin's world? What is that relationship like, especially now that you've put in, 10 years of working for everybody else while trying to figure out what Amberlin is good at and where the universe and God is trying to take Amberlin to, you know what I'm saying? So how is it now? How would you, in your own words, put how your relationship is when it comes down to your business? Because I believe that you have a relationship with
Yeah,
whatever you're putting your energy into. Like people say, it's my baby. So how would you, in your own words, put Amelin and the business?
the business, all my businesses, I look at them like they my children. I'm overprotective and I'm always constantly on top of everything because I've learned a lot of information of if I would have knew better, I could have did better. And in that time frame, in that thinking, I had a younger mind frame. I thought it was a failure. But realistically, if you fail, quote unquote, you didn't do all that you could do. You might have tried to you might try one thing 1,000 times. Just you might rephrase a word here or there, but try the same tactics and get the same results as well. Oh, I failed. Or you tried 2 and 3 things. They're like, oh, well, I failed. But did you really do all you could do?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had to develop that mindset because if I did, I probably would still have those businesses because it's just this route didn't work. I need to try something else. But I didn't think about
Right.
it like that, like most entrepreneurs don't. So with that, they are my babies. They are my bread and butter. When I wake up, I send a positive affirmations for them. That is, I mean, honestly, I'm in awe because to watch something that literally came from my head, well, meditation, but came from my head,
Yeah.
watch it grow and then watch it come to life and then watch other people get excited about it. Not only get excited about it, but want to be a part of it. And not only be a part of it, be a brand ambassador. Like, that's just a real humbling experience as I go through it.
Okay. 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 So, like I told you before, I want you to take some time before you speak. And I want you to allow your spirit animal self to speak to the rainbows and to me or to yourself, whoever you feel like you're speaking to, and I want you to just flow whatever you feel like flowing. And then when you're done, I want you to tell us who don't know you or my rainbows how they can get in touch with you. If tell them again what all you offer, however you want to do it, and then you tell them how to get in touch with you, how to follow you, how to find you, how to be in the know about the motivational mentor.
Yes, yes. The motivating mentor. Yeah, I'm always ready to talk. To be honest, I could take a minute, but for me, as I talk, it flows that way. For me, that's another good benefit of being a good talker, right? But dealing with customer service, honestly, I've been in those 10 years while I was working, the predominant job that I've been working was customer service. And that's how I literally watched how to build rapport with customers, how to pitch to a customer the right way. Because yeah, we all could feel like we could sell because you sell yourself when you want to talk to your significant other. But before they come, you become your significant other. You're selling yourself. You go talk to them, you attract them, you show them what you think they like, and minimize what you think they don't like. Until you feel like you hooked them, then some people hide their intentions. Some people are upfront. It all depends on the nature of the person. But
Hmm.
in regards to the business onto to business, I would say now is the best time to get into business because one, you have there was 100,000 new businesses that started this year alone in the midst of the pandemic. Now that should say something. While we're in a pandemic, there are still businesses being launched. So that means there's 100,000 new businesses that saw something in this opportunity and went for it. And this is what our community don't do. They lack because if you knew the information, if you knew if you started your business in the midst of this pandemic, a month later you'll be getting a $5,000 check. Of course you would have. Of course you would have did it. Everybody would do that. We're like, oh, so if I start one business, I get 5,000. So what would happen if I start four or five? It's just like a grant. It's free money that's going to come to you that you don't have to pay back. But that is just learning the information that you need. The business bailout that's something that Trump did under the administration. I don't know how people feel about Trump, but me personally, I know him as a person. I don't respect the words and blasphemous things that he say, but when it comes to the policies that he has put in place, the Trump administration for business owners, no business owner has made as much money as we made under his administration prior to. So yeah, you say a whole bunch of rhetoric and you say a whole bunch of BS, but if you think about the way he is, he's a celebrity in chief. He get views and people watch him by doing these same antics. So my name is going to keep being said, regardless if I actually feel this way. Because I say I don't like black people, but I'm opening and giving opportunities. Majority because we didn't know we got fucked, but majority of these efforts were to us. It was coming to the low income communities. That's what it was designed for. That's why his policy and that's why everything got pushed back. So now in this time, you just basically want to open your eyes. It's time. What are you doing? Is either you're going to continue to work for somebody else and make themselves rich, or are you going to do it for yourself and build your legacy and continue? Because when we think about why do I want to be an entrepreneur? Why does anybody want to be an entrepreneur or own a business? You're building your family legacy. You want to take control of your own financial freedom. You also want to be
Yeah.
control over your own schedule on a day-to-day basis. Nobody want to wake up every day from 9 to 5 and then get a 30-minute lunch and then come back home. When you clock in, you put your brain on the shelf and then you can get it back for 30 minutes because you're on your lunch and then put it right back on the shelf and finish your day. That's not the way the world should be.
Right. Right.
Sorry about that.
No, you good, honey. You good. This is my show is not scripted. My show is not sanctioned. My show is real life, and real life happens here. So you good.
Yeah, it does. So thank you. And I'm glad for that because you could freestyle even if you mess up. The one thing that I do like about the way that you do it, even if you mess up, you won't really know it's a mess up because it's random anyway. So random things happen. You could just flow one way and you get led another way. So yeah, I love this setup. I must say.
And that's what. And you know what? You are the only person who actually tapped into the reason why this is the randomly rain show. Because some days the rain wants to rant. Some days rain wants to play. Some days rain just wants to, speak to other people and share. I love to share my world with other creatives like myself. I love to share my world with other bosses in their own right, like myself. So, and I love to be transparent, raw, and uncut because I feel like a lot of times some of the most brilliant minds, most creative artists get lost in the sauce by trying to be politically correct. So,
Hmm.
yeah.
Then that goes back into your principles, you as a person, your principles. Because when you look at any leader, we look at leaders, and let me just start by saying every entrepreneur is a leader because you're leading your business and you're leading your brand. You set the standard and you set the value. So the way you treat everyone and communicate with everyone and the way you feel how passionate you are in your work as the boss, it falls
Hmm.
down to management, upper management, lower management, employees, lower level employees, and even the cleaning crew. It all depends on your level and your commitment. So now with that transition from me, I know when I was working,
Your face is not showing anymore.
really?
Just your picture. Just your picture's talking.
Oh
But it's
wow.
okay. It's okay if you want to leave it like that. I was just letting you know your
I didn't
picture's
even
talking.
know. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, whenever you're
Okay, I don't know why it's doing that. It won't let me show.
it's whenever your phone rang or your computer rang, it went to the but it's okay. It's up to you. It's up. You're good if you are okay with staying like that. I was just letting you know.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'm okay. I just wanted the visual, but I mean, it's fine. It doesn't really matter either way. You can still
Oh
hear
well,
me.
maybe if you want the visual, then you go ahead and get the visual then.
No,
Even if you want to come back out and come back in, go out and come back in. That's fine with me too. It's up to you. This is your this is your moment. This is your segment.
I'm enjoying the conversation right now, and I'm just seeing it be flowing naturally. So I just wanted to keep the flow going.
Okay, so go ahead. You still got the floor.
Now, I just wanted to speak to anyone under the sound of my voice that if you're currently working now and you want to get out of work, but you don't know how, I'm gonna tell you how. Now, you can go out two different ways. You can leave your job, investing, or being a business owner. Each time you get paid on a bi-weekly basis, set aside a certain amount. I would say 10%, at least 10%. You set aside 10%. By the time you look at the end of the year, that money that you don't have, now it's time to do either one or two things. You can invest in something short term to make sure that your turnaround is short and you can have your funds liquid as early as possible. Or you can invest into a business and become a business owner and invest those funds where you can transition out of working on a 9 to 5. Because to me, I feel like working is we're back on the plantation. We're just
Hmm.
instead of instead of we're getting instead of lashes for work. Now we're just exchanging we're just exchanging time and our efforts for money, and it's basically the
Yeah.
same
Yeah.
concept. So I
Mhm.
want to help any and everybody that I can help out of that rat race. Yes, especially our melanated people, because half of us don't even know how great and how truly awesome and how much royalty you have within our bloods and within that melanin that's within our skin.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
that's just one thing. Like us as a people were always viewed, and this conversation could get real deep real soon.
And it can.
But if you even think about, do you know where, speaking biblically, sorry, when you
Yeah,
hear
I got you.
when you think about the number 666, what does that mean to you?
Means the mark of the beast to me. Means
But
bad
do you
luck
know why?
to me.
Do you know why it's specifically 666? Why those numbers? The mark of the beast could have been anything, but do you know why specifically?
I always see it as it's the triple six ether being. That's how I see it.
It came from do you know the melanin, the components to a melanin?
I thought it was from the number nine. The opposite of flipping the number nine around. But no, I don't. Go
Yeah,
ahead. I'm listening.
yeah. 6 carbon, 6 protons, six carbon, protons, electrons. 666. Those molecules
Hmm.
is why our skin is brown. So when they say the mark of the beast, they're talking about the melanated people. Just
Okay.
just throwing that gem out there. You know what I mean? You could do the research and fact check me. I love that. Always fact check me, but when you really see and really find out, it's just a game for we're set up. This world is set up for us not to know who we are, and they hide our identity from us. Because once you find out your royalty, no longer will would you accept less than. No longer will would you let anyone talk to you any kind of way. No longer will would you just go to a job that you don't like and do this consistently 10, 15 years when you know your royalty. No one would do that. But in this oppressive system that we have, I can't let my employees know that they're actually bosses. I have to keep you on an employee level.
Yeah.
And this is the challenge when transitioning. If you've been in this oppressive system so long, you don't think to be a creative unless that's naturally within you. Because by the time you go
Yeah.
through school, that creativeness is done got beaten out of you already. You have to click the answer in the box. Don't go outside of the
Right.
box.
Yeah.
But that's with my transition as I initially started from working. It was difficult for me. I had to go through many days. I had to make a sacrifice. The food that I normally like to eat, I have to satisfy. I have to settle for a bologna sandwich, or well, I don't eat bologna, but a turkey sandwich, or a cheese sandwich, or even a butter sandwich. I have certain days, certain things you have to do without. I would rather stay
Okay.
home. I would rather stay home and not go out with my friends and miss that opportunity. And this is where my relationship suffered, where I would rather, hey, I don't want to go out. I would rather save this money to do something else, but I want to go out. I want to do this. That's when you have to give and take, because yes, you could be saving, but as a business owner yourself, you got to give and take, especially to your significant other. It's always great to
Mhm.
save, but then you also want to show those good gestures to your significant other. So going back and tying that in to your earlier point. Well, yeah, with me that strive and that struggle just because oh you're young, how much information could you really know? Oh, you're black. I don't trust black people. Black people are criminals, or black people. I have heard
Hmm.
it all. I have heard it all. But thank goodness, to be honest, I grew up in Miami. I'm Haitian descent, and during that time frame in Miami, it wasn't popular to be Haitian. Yeah, just because you were Haitian, you got viewed as a target, which made my skin tough. Honestly, that gave me the skin for entrepreneurship because it's nothing that anyone could tell me that I haven't heard already growing up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
With that transition, school work, entrepreneurship has really been my journey.
Okay.
I mean, really, that's it. That's all my little tidbit.
Okay, so tell everybody, how do we get in touch with you? How do we follow you and stay in the know? And if we are, like myself, embarking on becoming just like you, a serial entrepreneur, and we might need some help, how do we get the help that we need?
Yes, yes. You can feel free to visit my website. It is www.themotivatingmentor.com, or on any social media platform, specifically Facebook and Instagram. You can find me, The Motivating Mentor. Feel free to send me a chat, or you could contact us directly. I can give the telephone, our customer support line, and you can feel free to ask any general question. Or if you just want to strategize with the game plan, feel free to contact and we can give you a free consultation and show you how we could definitely help you and execute.
Okay. Well, listen, that was that was amazing. Oh, hold up, slow down, put my brakes. Tell us your testimony after you've gone through all those different type of obstacles, um, shortfalls, bumps and bruises, research and development in the different relationships in your life from the beginning to now, who we see and are hearing from as the motivational speaker or motivational mentor. So I apologize. Um, that was your tried. So tell us what your tested is. What would you say your testimony is?
My testimony is being able to provide for my family without without anyone's outside help, because I've always
Mhm.
thought, which is why I had to get out the rat race, my personal self. If you give someone the power to feed you, you also give them the power to starve you. So that any given day,
Hmm.
if they want to fire you and get rid of you, and your job is your only source of income, as soon as they let you go, or they feel like someone else, they can find someone else to do twice the job that you're doing for half the pay, they're going to get rid of
Mhm.
you. So with me, just knowing that I have security and I'm building a legacy that my family can be proud of, and my seeds to walk down that path, that for me is my testimony. Because everything went from it being dark and cloudy, me not knowing the way, me not knowing exactly what's going to happen, but just having faith and watching that rainbow coming out first, and then watching that sun come and clear up and the clouds start to come out, and it's been a bittersweet experience. I've learned and I've gone through tough things, but through it all, everything that I've been through, it was preparing me to go into the next level and to the next encounter and the next mission that I was going through. So everything has been a blessing for me, honestly.
All right. Okay. Well, I am very, very humble. I'm very honored. I'm very flattered by the fact that you even wanted to share time and space with me. For me, it's the simple things in life. I do everything that I do for the love of whoever God puts me in front of. I never meet a stranger. And I've learned a lot from you just from our conversation that we had as you were in the motivational mentor chair. And I've learned so much more and added more respect for you as in this conversation. I do not take it lightly, and I am very thankful. Um, I know that I will be getting into. I'll probably take part in probably both of the separate programs you have um, at various times in the very near future. As soon as I have the resources that I need to be able to do that, I do know that God has been connecting me to and creating for me this different type of village. Like I told you before, I believe He's creating for me what I'm going to be calling the billionaires bunch. You know, we've heard about the millionaire clubs and stuff like that, but I believe that He has been placing me in front of giants, and He has been connecting me to these giant, amazing melanated minds. And I believe that in the very near future, we are going to be each one of us separately billionaires. I also believe that we are going to be a part of what I would call the New Age Black Panther movement, in a sense, that we will be able to take our integrity, like you spoke of so eloquently, and our just sheer determination, pure tenacity, straight lace, no chaser love for our communities, for our nationalities, for our culture, for our ethnicities, for our lane, creative lane that we're in, and change our world as we see it. So please don't you dare give up. Don't you dare give in. And don't you ever feel like you are not being seen, because you so are. So thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
No problem.
That
So
it's real humbling to hear, honestly.
that's it. That's good. I'm glad. I'm glad because yesterday I was having a conversation, and I'm gonna end it like this. I was having a conversation with another giant. She's a melanated sister like us, and I was able to remember that at the end of Oprah's Legend Ball, the late great Dr. Maya Angelou said, "There's no bigger and greater expression of love than thank you." That's what you tell God is thank you. So and I'm getting chills, I really truly have been making sure that anyone that allows themselves to be in my space, in my energy, in my presence, that I make sure I tell them thank you. So again, I say thank you.
Man, yeah, yeah, you're right. You're right. I didn't even think about it from that perspective, but yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, she said that, and when she said it, I remember I watched it on YouTube and I kept rewinding it so that I can catch it. And she also said, "People will forget what you did," and I'm paraphrasing it. "People will forget what you said, but people will never forget how you made them feel."
True.
So I want to make sure that whether I'm Rain, whether I'm Denise, whether I'm Shantara, I want to make sure you remember how I made you feel. And I want to, for 99% of the time, make you feel like you are loved and you are seen and you are appreciated. So, yeah. So, you all know what it is, and by now you should know who it is. It's your girl, Rain. This has been Tried and Tested Tuesday. We have been given so many wonderful, juicy, beautiful, gleaming nuggets of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding about how you can go from just your regular self that you see in the mirror, the man in the mirror, the woman in the mirror, and become anything that you put your mind to. The only thing and the only person standing in your way in the very, very beginning, and mostly the majority of the time, is you. Is
Amen.
King Sir Amberlin of I want to say he's the king of the motivational mentor. And man, this is tried and tested Tuesday, and baby, he told you his tried. He broke it down in such an eloquently way, and he shared his tested. So when you feel like you are tried, just know that you are tested. But it's the test that makes it all the more pleasant. If you do not allow yourself to fall victim to the tried and you are able to conquer the test, the best is yet to come. So you already know how I'm coming, deuce out the roof. You should already know what I'm about to say. Love God, love each other, and love yourself. It costs absolutely nothing to love. If we give each other a little more love and a little more love and a little more love, we can change our society, we can save our communities, and we can save the world. I'll see y'all in a couple shakes of the rabbit's tail. I got to go. Bye. Okay.